Welcome, everyone, to the Downtown Development Authority and Monroe North Tax Increment Finance Authority informational meeting. This is our biannual requirement from the state of Michigan. So I'm going to give a few updates on some of the projects we've been working on in the past year. But before I do that, quick reminder of what DGRI is and what we do. So we are the management organization for obviously the DDA and the TIFA, in addition to the Downtown Improvement District. And then we are staffed to our DGRI Board of Advisors, as well as working closely with our Citizen Alliance group. Our core areas of work are planning and design, building and finance, activation and engagement, as well as general downtown maintenance. So typically, when we're giving these updates and overviews, we'll want to start with sort of some metrics in terms of where we are with the downtown neighborhood. It's obviously been a question we get a lot post-COVID. And starting with visitor numbers. So we are, through June, we've seen 13.4 million visitors in downtown. That with just 2.3 million in the past month, that's about a 10% increase over our 5-year average. So we're continuing to see good numbers with visitors. Expect with events like Return to the River, which is coming up soon in August, as well as our prize, that will continue to track toward that increase and just welcoming people back to downtown. On the housing front, this is obviously a metric we track closely. We are about 4,800 units overall in downtown. That corresponds to our DDA boundary. And 1,400 of those are income restricted. So we like to continue to track that measure to make sure downtown stays affordable and accessible for everyone. We, since 2010, we've added 207 market rate units, since 2020. And we have 1,200, almost 1,300 under in the pipeline or under construction. The primary project, I think the only project currently under construction, is the apartments and condos at Studio Park. But we do still see a lot of activity behind the scenes in terms of planning happening on new units. We don't quite like to share on those until they're a little more concrete. But there is still a lot of planning happening for new residential units in downtown. On the business and office front, since the beginning of the year, we've had a net of 1 new business added, ground floor. So we've seen 10 actually open, 9 have closed. Obviously want to continue to pick that up. And we have a couple of key corridors where we're really focused, Monroe Center, Division Avenue being among those, and just continue to track the overall ground floor vacancy. And then headquarters, no surprise there, but we have seen a lot of good activity since 2019. The Center for Transformation and Innovation that Corewell Health is working on up in Monroe North is the primary project that's under construction now. But as a reminder, we have seen 5 new headquarters open since 2019. And then last but not least, we continue to be in the largest parking construction boom in downtown history. Right now we have just over 49,000 parking spaces in downtown. And so we like to continue to tout that there is availability and accessibility for parking. So what's ahead in the coming year? I mentioned the events already, but Return to the River is happening at the end of August. So mark your calendars for August 26 and 27. Our prize will follow that up on September 14th. The venue and artist registration for that has closed, but they saw numbers even exceed last year's registration. So we're looking forward to welcoming our prize back. And then in the early part of 24, we will see the kickoff for World of Winter. This morning, the Downtown Development Authority approved funding for the large installations that will be around the district. A lot of work continues on the riverfront and in particular the Greenway and corridor. That includes the amphitheater. So the planned amphitheater at 201 Market is moving along. They just got a special land use permit from the planning department. Still a ways to go in terms of figuring out the financing for that, but they are still tracking on schedule to begin demolition of the city-owned facilities in spring of 24. So some work to happen between now and then, but it is still on schedule. The Grand Rapids Public Museum is also getting close to being ready to begin construction on their project that will start with riverfront and trail improvements. They are finishing up design and expect to be out to bid next month. Related, Lion Square, which is a project that we have been working on for close to a decade. In some cases, you can go back even a little farther than that. There were drawings and MLive stories, but we are going to put that out to bid next week for the latest design, and then expect to be able to begin construction in September. So exciting news there. The Hill and River Network planning work continues. They are completing designs on a number of the projects, but I think the one that is most close to being ready to go out to bid and be final is the tunnel that would connect onto the MSU property from Monroe North, and that's the old railway extension. And then I think this is the last capital project update. Van Andel Arena Alley. We are close to going into permitting with the city. Given some of the other schedules in our conversations with contractors, we expect to have design done in the next 2 months, but we want to make sure we're hitting the construction season at the right time. So likely we'd go out to bid in the fall with a plan to begin construction on that in the spring of 2024. And that would tie into the work that was done previously on the plaza front. And then last slide, just a few other placemaking priorities that we have going on this year. Continuing our Women's Way mural program. So we have a new design and woman of history from Grand Rapids to honor, and we'll share a little bit more on that in the next month or so. Have a number of streetscape amenities planned to go in between now and the end of the year. And then more pedestrian enhancements and safety enhancements going in. Our ZECLA, the latest ZECLA that was funded over on Front and Wealthy, is going to start going in this weekend. So these are the similar to what is there on Fulton, right over by Mezzo, bus stop extension, as well as accessibility enhancement. That'll go in this weekend. And then our wayfinding system, importantly, was also going to start installation of the kiosks on Monday. And then the remainder of the signs will start shortly thereafter. So a lot of good things happening. That concludes my informational meeting presentation, and I will take any questions.